L. Alex Wilson was the lauded editor and general manager of the Tri-State Defender, one of Memphis's black newspapers. Through his seemingly boundless desire to provide black Memphians with the information they needed, he worked 80-hour weeks and covered major stories on events including the Memphis bus boycott, the lynching of Emmett Till, and Little Rock Nine, the last which stamped L. Alex Wilson's name into history. On September 23, 1957, the desegregation of Central High School marked the beginning of strides made through Brown versus Board of Education, and 49-year-old L. Alex Wilson was there to document the story with his team. Black journalists were conditioned to expect the worst while working, but this was a particularly dangerous situation. Both the Army and the National Guard were involved because a large mob was expected. Approximately 1,000 white people arrived to display their outrage at 9 black students claiming an education that all people deserved. The moment that L. Alex Wilson and his team arrived on the streets of Little Rock, the angry mob turned their attention from the students to the journalists, immediately proceeding to call them the N-word and attack them. L. Alex Wilson, standing out from the other journalists as a lanky 6'4" man, was specifically targeted. The angry mob surrounded L. Alex Wilson, shoving him around and shouting slurs. L. Alex Wilson was a peaceful, stoic man, so he calmly refused to run. He had run from white men only once before as a child during a KKK rally in Florida, and out of frustration with himself for not standing his ground, he vowed to never do so again. The mob, agitated by his coolness, started throwing punches and kicks. They knocked L. Alex Wilson to the ground and his hat off of his head, but he stood back up, dusted off his hat, recreased its brim, and kept onward. The beating continued, and eventually a rioter struck a powerful blow on his head with a brick. Although he was later able to escape into his car, the brick proved to leave long-lasting damage. A year or so after the beating, L. Alex Wilson started to develop what appeared to be Parkinson's disease, likely as a result of his wounds, and he soon afterwards died on October 11, 1960, at age 51. L. Alex Wilson's suffering ended up being a grace for the 9 students that allowed them to silently enter the school while the mob was distracted, officially desegregating Central High School. The day following the events at the school, newspapers nationwide featured front-page articles and pictures of L. Alex Wilson in Little Rock. He was the face of courage, drive, tenacity, stoicism, and fearlessness that would not run in the face of hate. If society can learn anything from L. Alex Wilson, it is that running from adversity and discomfort will get society nowhere. Great change only comes with great action and sacrifice. One does not necessarily need to sacrifice their body for the cause, but one must sacrifice their peace and complacency if they ever hope to see this country function as a genuine whole. If L. Alex Wilson, my grandfather, was still alive today, he would surely agree.